Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Jim Jordan holds his own when Dana Bash does ask him some unusually important questions. This is very unusual for CNN. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our great sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group. Despite Donald Trump's victory, you still need to protect your wealth with either gold or other precious metals, and that's exactly what Colonial Metals can do for you. Now, let's dive in.
Let's go back to what you just brought up, which is the question about retribution. You also lead the weaponization of the federal government subcommittee. Trump has repeatedly threatened to prosecute Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, Liz Cheney, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, General Mark Milley, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, New York AG Letitia James, and that's just some of the people he has talked about. Do you support him using the Justice Department to go after the people who disagree?
He didn't do it his first term. What I support is stopping.
Right, but this is a second term.
What I support is stopping this lawfare, stopping this political targeting, political cases. We all know the Fonnie Willis case, the Alvin Bragg case, and the Jack Smith cases were all driven by politics. The American people understood it. That's why they had this overwhelming win. One of the reasons this overwhelming win for President Trump. So I'm against the retribution. I'm against the Justice Department saying if you're a mom and dad showing up at a school board meeting, we're going to investigate you. I'm against the FBI putting together a memorandum at the Richmond field office which said if you're a pro-life Catholic, you're an extremist.
So I just
we want all that to stop.
I just want to put a button on this. So what you are saying is that all of the times that President Trump said so many things about people that he promised that he would go after them and prosecute them, you were going to encourage him not to do that?
Well, all I know is what he didn't do. That.
I know, but we're talking
about... He talked about lock her up. You know, he talked about his opponent in 2016, Secretary Clinton, talked about lock her up. He didn't do that. He didn't go. But the Democrats went after him.
I know, but I'm talking about Donald Trump's
what they did is
second
wrong.
term.
I mean,
going forward. Since then, he has said many times.
I don't think any of that's going to happen because we're the party who's against political prosecution. We're the party who's against going after your opponents using lawfare. In fact, I think this is one of the issues that the
So it was just
said,
a campaign rhetoric? It wasn't real?
Well, I think he's pointing out what's going on. The retribution. Actually, Liz Cheney on January 6th went after President Trump, said things that weren't accurate, I think, in their report. The other individuals he's talked about have been part of this retribution going after President Trump. Never forget, it started clear back before he was in office. They spied on his campaign in 2016.
But I am not talking about...
for 8 years, they've been going after President
Trump. He won.
He sure did. He won big.
He won big. So my question, and what people want to know, is what he is going to do looking
I think
forward.
He's going to do.
Just for example, 2 days ago, he called for investigations into anyone spreading rumors.
I think he's going to secure the border. I think he's going to get rid of this crazy inflation that's hurting middle class and working class families, hurting our economy. I think he's going to get back to common sense energy policy. I think he's going to focus on protecting the First Amendment. I mean, think about this. Did you ever think you would see Donald Trump, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., and Tulsi Gabbard on the same team? They were on the same team because of the attack on free speech, the attack on the First Amendment. He's going to focus on those things that the American people elected him to do.
Okay. I mean, there are a lot of... I want to move on to immigration. There are a lot of things that you just said that I think aren't totally fact-based. So they say that they're for free speech, but there are a lot of things that we know are not happening. I want to ask about immigration.
Came together.
Well,
all
maybe.
Because of the attacks on the First Amendment, on free. This is something our committee spent a bunch of time. We understand that there was censorship. We pointed that out.
Okay. First off, we have to talk about the art of the pivot. Dana Bash is asking a very important question because she's scared. She is legitimately scared, and you know what? I don't fully blame her. After years and years and years, we had 4 of them where everyone and their mother seemed like they were coming after Donald Trump in any way they could, even though that other district attorneys in New York City looked at the Donald Trump potential fraud case and went, no, there's not really a case here. Alvin Bragg ran on a platform in order to specifically say that I am going to go after Donald Trump. Letitia James, same thing. Fannie Willis, same thing. And you think that Donald Trump isn't going to bring any retribution against these people? Well, he didn't do it in his first term when it was proven that Barack Obama wiretapped Donald Trump. This is Watergate kind of scandal, which is now sort of just water under the bridge. And then you have Hillary Clinton magically getting the FBI to look into her cases, and that's when the FBI was still sort of at odds with itself. That was back when the FBI was trying to decide, are we going to be a full creature of the swamp or are we going to keep our integrity? They chose the swamp because there was a high-level meeting between Bill Clinton, I believe one of the higher members of the FBI, on a tarmac, and they kind of reached a deal there. And then, of course, you have Fani Willis, who just butchered her own case against Trump. Man, Fulton County just can't get anything right. And as a Georgia boy from the other side of the Chattahoochee River, I can say that because I watch them fumble everything daily. It's delicious until you realize that it's just a disservice to the people who live there. Hey, y'all. I'm not exactly looking at retirement anytime soon. But my parents are. And friends of my parents are. And I'm sure either you or someone you know is looking at retirement and wondering, what do I do? How do I help prepare for this in this economy with this terrible president and with a vice president who basically coup d'etat him and is now looking to run for president herself? How do you protect against this? Well, simple. You go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have something called the Retirement Package Plan. This plan backs your wealth with gold and silver accounts. And furthermore, you will have direct access to these accounts. So you're not at the whims of Wall Street. You're not at the whims of inflation. You are in command of your own destiny. As a bonus, qualified applicants can receive up to $10,000 in free silver, plus a couple of other little goodies that they're going to package up for you, and you're going to be able to protect your wealth and your retirement. So go over to this link in the description below at colonialmetalsgroup.com or call this number 800-203-0422 and see how they can help you prepare for retirement today by backing your account with gold and silver. Don't delay your retirement, folks. Protect the money that you earned with Colonial Metals Group. They're here to help. So you'd think that Donald Trump would come after them the same way that he came after Hillary Clinton, right? Well, he didn't come after Clinton. He didn't come after Obama. He didn't come out storming the gates. He just wanted to have some normal policy. Abraham Lincoln realized that if you start rounding up a lot of Southerners, the whole point of fighting to preserve the Union will be lost because any trust that remained in the Union would just be forever gone. That's why he didn't go after Robert E. Lee. That's why he only went after a couple of high-profile leaders within the Confederacy who were treated fairly well in prison. They wrote their memoirs. They were able to get out, and they pledged loyalty to the Union. And so I think the thing that Trump needs to do, and this is what Jim Jordan can't do. He can't come out and say, yes, I believe in retribution, and he can't say, no, I don't believe in retribution. Because that sort of gives away the game, that gives away leverage, and that's exactly what CNN wants. So he's forced to pivot, and he pivots well, talking about actual policy, the times that Democrats have actually overstepped their bounds in going after Donald Trump, and of course, he talks about the first term. So this is a great way, a textbook way that you're supposed to pivot. But what I think should happen is that there needs to be formal investigations on a ton of people. And they need to be high profile, they need to be in the spotlight, and ultimately they need to come up with the conclusion that a lot of the high profile leaders, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, even Kamala herself, they don't need any retribution, okay? That's not fair, because those are all elected leaders at some point that represents the will of American citizens. Instead, I think we need to go after, and not even Alvin Bragg, who I think deserves to be disbarred for just this egregious misuse of justice. Fani Willis probably should be disbarred, but that's because of her own wrongdoings. I can't say as much about Letitia James, so I'm not going to go down that path. Instead, I think the people that need to be punished are the ones that overstep their bounds, and Jordan actually brings this up, particularly the FBI agents that pass down the memo that says, hey, we need to spy on these Catholics that are pro-life. I think that's what needs to happen. I think that's the proper sort of retribution, because it's punishing the swamp for being a swamp creature and sending a message to everyone else that finally we have accountability. That finally, as I love quoting Tucker on this, Daddy is home and some people are about to get a spanking. And I think that's as far as it should go, because if we push the envelope too much, eventually that pendulum, which is swinging to the right now, will swing to the other side. That's what happens in political history. That's what happens in political discourse. We need to hold certain people responsible and let some others go for the sake of catharsis and for the sake of our wonderful American Union. I think that's what Trump needs to do. Jim Jordan does a fantastic job. And Dana Bash, who is right to be scared after being on CNN constantly passing misinformation about Donald Trump. Yeah, I think that is the perfect way to deal with this entire situation. Anyways, those are my thoughts. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.